I'm going to start with the Irish Examiner. Unreal feeling, and that's Caoimhín Kelleher having made the decisive save in the penalty shootout. Kelleher delights as penalty heroics see Liverpool past Arsenal. Anthony Daly's gone through the Hurling All-Stars, which we haven't got to just yet, but we'll get to in a couple of minutes' time. England dressing room will hang on Farrell's final address, so they're kind of like we're too far out from the World Cup final for there to be that much in terms of what we can actually do by way of match preview. So we're hearing from inside the England camp. Apparently, they listened to the captain's speeches. There's actually some good stuff about the backroom teams in the Examiner today. And then end of the road, Richard Keogh has Derby contract terminated for gross misconduct. Derby are such a bunch of hypocrites. The two players who were drink driving are back playing for the team. And they offered, according to reports, they offered Richard Keogh a deal to see out the rest of his contract on a pay cut. When he said no, they sacked him. So it's just about saving money. This has nothing to do with gross misconduct or the reputation of the club. Derby are hypocrites, and whatever about the rights and wrongs of the case, they're going to have to pay Richard Keogh a lot of money for this because they had a contract with him, and they clearly don't think it's that big a deal that the two lads who were driving because they're back playing. So, like, you can't have your cake and eat it. You either sack all three players, and I think a lot of people would have been very behind that, but you can't sack some of them and not somebody else. Oh, he was the captain, he's supposed to know. It's like, no, I'm sorry, they're not 16. They're grown men, they know exactly what they're doing. And by playing them, you've decided that this is not gross misconduct. Hypocrites. Yeah, it's not a decision made on the back of what they actually say it is. This is not because of Richard Keogh's conduct. This is it's a money-saving decision. It's a business decision. That's what it is from Derby County, it seems. That is the headline on the back page of the Irish Daily Mail. Keogh sacked. Irish defender refused club's huge pay cut. You've also got a picture there of Caoimhín Kelleher, rebel yell, and tip on top again, this time in the All-Stars. Tipperary rounding off the hurling decade as they started it by bagging Lee McCarthy and the lion's share of the PwC All-Star Awards. So dominating the selection, 7 awards they've got. Goalkeeper Brian Hogan, one of the more controversial decisions, like Eoin Murphy was probably, I use controversial probably a bit strongly there, but debated. That was probably the most debated position. Could Eoin Murphy have perhaps snapped it off Brian Hogan? But when you're an All-Ireland winning goalkeeper, it's hard to take it away from you. The Telegraph this morning, not for them, a picture of Caoimhín Kelleher. Oh no, it's the goal scorer. So youngster Jones scores winner in penalty shootout after 10-goal Anfield thriller. A 5-all draw going straight to penalties. Going straight to penalties is a good idea. Yes. I would... no VAR, no extra time. 2 of the worst things in football taken out immediately by the Carabao Cup. We're like, oh, is it going straight to penalties? Yes, it is. Great. Happy days. The Sun this morning goes with the Richard Keogh story. Keogh sacked. Ireland star is booted after drink scandal. Vinny then says it's next man up. Vinny Are you pronouncing that the English way? Is that like, because that's... What? What's his name? Who? Vinny Perth? The sacked footballer. Richard Keogh. All right. Sounded like you were in Keogh. Keogh? No, Keogh. Keogh. Yeah, Keogh. Have I gone for like a hybrid of the English and the Irish? I can't control how I speak, Ger. It sounded, you can't control how you speak. Ultimately. Google Fest is the headline. Well, it's one of the great moments in Irish sports content where the camera just cuts to you. It's like the best impression I've ever seen. It is fantastic. Ultimately. You do it even better. You do a good Richard impression, to be fair. Google Fest is the headline there with Curtis Jones celebrating Caoimhín Kelleher inset. I would always be very angry if I heard somebody say Keogh instead of Keogh. And then you were doing a little bit of yourself? I didn't realise that. You need to... Thanks for tipping me off there. That's a fairly sad moment for me that I'm actually saying Keogh. The Irish Daily Mirror, their back page is spot stuff, and it's a picture of the team celebration. Liverpool rookies Caoimhín Kelleher and Curtis Jones were the shootout heroes after 10-goal thriller at Anfield last night. A magnificent 7 for champs is the Tipperary PwC GAA GPA All-Stars. And then obviously Marcus Rashford at the double as well. That Chelsea team, like Chelsea are playing well at the minute. That's a good win for Man United. Yeah, 2 big wins against Chelsea now this season. And Lampard is developing a bit of a bogey team in Solskjaer's Manchester United. What a way to win a game, though, for Marcus Rashford. Absolute
corker, and every game counts really at the moment for Manchester United. They seem to be kind of flirting with the idea that form might be coming back to Old Trafford. So he was in the hot seat there for a while, I think, Solskjaer. He might have just removed himself from it now. The London Times this morning goes with a picture of Mario Toje on the back page. Inside, how Owen Farrell found his voice as England's leader, and FA demands Spygate answers. This is Martin Ziegler and Matt Dickinson writing how Liverpool have been asked to respond to revelations that they paid Manchester City £1 million after a rival scouting system was allegedly hacked into. This relates to money paid in a settlement in 2013 after City complained about their system being accessed unlawfully by Liverpool club employees.
The back page of The Guardian, which, is it definitely the back page?
It is, yeah, there was like an ad on the back.
OK, so here it is. World in harmony. George and England turn to cricketers for final inspiration. A lot of people pointing out that England World Cup winners and cricket going to be World Cup winners and this, and they're European Cup winners in football and could be World Club champions by the end of the year. It's all coming up Brexit, isn't it? 2019 vision, the England coach who's already won 2 World Cups. On the back of that, and then there's pictures of a glass bridge in China on the front of it. They kind of freak me out a bit, I'm not going to lie.
Glass bridges?
Yeah. Have you seen the video doing the rounds of the infinity pool that's out over the edge of a building, where you walk out?
I haven't seen this video, but I get what you're saying.
Looking straight down, and it's like, I don't know, 80 stories down.
And like you were shaming me there a moment ago for being scared of horror movies. You can't even walk out on a bridge.
No, it's true. On a glass bridge where you're looking at your imminent death below you. Staring it in the face.
You need to man up, I think, is the actual phrase. And
I don't think it's politically incorrect these days.
Get some Halloween life.
It's person up these days, though.
Back page of the Herald is Derby sack for Keogh. Ireland defender set for legal battle as contract is terminated. There's a picture there from Ceballos' penalty getting saved by Queevy and Kelleher. And Lopez Target's final medal, Rovers ace Roberto gunning for Dundalk.
The Racing Post, the front page of the Racing Post this morning is Mullins suspended Supreme too big for one man to manage. Kemboy's dramatic suspension from racing, along with those in the same ownership as the Cheltenham Gold Cup favourite, may be explained by management becoming overwhelmed by the rapid growth of the Supreme Horse Racing Club. Trainer Willie Mullins said yesterday. Ireland's champion trainer admitted at a media event that he was aware of grumblings within the camp before HRI froze Supreme's account on October the 21st. That intervention came after requests for paperwork relating to the ownership of horses were not sufficiently met. Owners in the syndicate have claimed that horses, including Kemboy, who can't race until the dispute is resolved, were oversold. Supreme is listed as being run by Steve Massey and Jim Balfrey, but Mullins, who trains 14 horses for the owners and remains hopeful the authorities can come to a swift resolution, said much of the onus for running the syndicates lay solely with Massey. Supreme Racing got very big, is what Mullins said. So it's a really interesting developing story in the Racing Post today. On the back page, the best of both worlds, why outsiders England can shine again. England's cricketers going to beat New Zealand, apparently.
Sports Thursday in the Irish Times leads with Farrell's steady hand on England's tiller. Hooker George says squad taking their cue from inspirational captain. That's the angle really across all the World Cup stories today. And then all change for Wales and All Blacks and game of farewells, says Sherry Thornley as well. That's a 9 o'clock kickoff tomorrow morning between Wales and New Zealand.
And the Star this morning, the back page of the Star is Eoin. Queeveen's the shootout hero after 10-goal thriller. There you go, that's not bad.
Good headline. Top of the morning to you.
Rash is king for United and Keogh to fight Derby sacking. Of course he is, because it's ridiculous.
Keogh sacked over car crash roll, says the back of the Irish Independent. Derby's Ireland defender contract terminated after refusing to accept pay cut following probe. Seventh heaven for Tipperary is their headline on the All-Stars piece. And Mayo refute Foundation's All-Ireland final tickets claim. So this is the Mayo County Board. There was a meeting last night, and County Secretary Dermot Butler told that the County Board delegates at McHale Park that only 2 All-Ireland tickets were promised. The Foundation is claiming that 10 tickets were promised and only 2 were provided, but the County Board is saying only 2 were promised. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, so they raised 250 grand for Mayo and now they're not giving Mayo the money. Yes.
I mean, what? You can't do that. Like, they got the support of everybody from Mayo on the basis that this money was going to go to Mayo, and now they're not giving them the money.
There is another meeting taking place on this early next week. It's not going to be open to the media. there is a sense you get from the sounds coming out of Mayo County Board that perhaps they know that the money might eventually come and that they need to play their cards very carefully in terms of being political here, that they don't want to poke the bear and push the money further away.
Well, I mean, what are they going to do with the money? Keep the money? Like, it's not their money. It was raised under false pretenses that they're going to keep it. So it was raised for Mayo GAA. Give the money to Mayo GAA. I'm interested to see what Mayo people think about this. Like, I haven't heard that much from Mayo GAA, good Mayo GAA people. Are they concerned about the fact that the county has become a laughingstock? Because it is one of the funniest stories that has happened, where a rich Englishman raising money for a GAA county is withholding the money because he doesn't think the money's going to be spent properly. Like, come on, it's one of the most ridiculous stories you're ever going to hear. And it is making a laughingstock of good GAA people and sports people in Mayo. And I'm like, what's going on, lads? Come on. So I'd be interested to hear what Mayo people think.
Yeah, apparently this is the straw that broke the camel's back. This is the line from the foundation.
Yeah, they claim they were promised 10 tickets for that gala dinner, and they gave them away in the night, and then they didn't get them. They only got 2 tickets. The Mayo County Board say, that's bollocks, we only ever promised you 2. Like, so someone's lying somewhere. And I wonder, is there is there a paper trail for that?
I was about to say, where's the emails?
But you've got to have some sympathy with any county board who are like told that we're going to raise this money for you, and then the money gets raised and you support the raising of the money. I mean, as far as I know, the team showed up to that gala dinner, right? There are pictures of it.
That's correct, yeah. Like, they definitely showed up at a dinner in New York, I presume it is.
Well, I mean, if there was another one that raised loads of money, like, let's see, make sure, is the money definitely there? Is there evidence that 250 grand has been raised and is in escrow somewhere? Like, I think that there needs to be fairly significant questions asked of this self-appointed organisation, because the Mayo County Board last night said Corja Mayo is the only official fundraising organisation for the Mayo County Board. So this money is in limbo, this relationship seems to be in limbo, and I've no doubt that there are questions that Mayo County Board need to answer about governance and about their procedures, but they should answer those, and they should also be saying, you raise money on the back of your association with Mayo, give us the money. Give us the money. It's not your money. Like, it isn't. And people buying tables at that dinner weren't buying tables for anything other than Mayo GAA.
To support Mayo GAA.
So, Mayo GAA needs to get the money.
There are actual plans here that are kind of, I presume, on ice until they actually get this money. Like, I think there's a Centre of Excellence being built. The actual facilities now are just presumed put to one side until they get this cash in hand. So it's a bit of a nightmare for everybody involved. I think it actually has kind of gone beyond the point of it being funny. Like yesterday's one about the shoot a donkey being played in McHale Park. That is just, by definition, a hilarious yarn.
Yeah.
But this now, you do kind of, I am starting to feel a little bit for people involved here.
Pat Nolan has just tweeted, Brian and Ken Hogan become the first father-son combination to win hurling All-Stars in the same position. It's happened 3 times in football before. Can you name any of them?
Barney and Dean Rock.
That's one. Midfielders.
Earlys.
Yes, Dermot and Dermot Jr.
And what position is the last one?
I hadn't heard of these guys. Pat and Paddy Reynolds. Meads, Paddy Reynolds? Tommy's going, I think so. Meads, Paddy Reynolds. Cornerback? Wingbacks. So, what year did Paddy Reynolds win? Paddy's in the 90s. Yeah. Paddy's in the team, the 97 team around then, is he? That
96.
The 96 team that wins All-Ireland. The 97 team is one more famous in Kelleher for beating us after a 3-game saga.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry for your troubles.
Yeah, well, sure, look, you never get over it. Right, the front cover of AS this morning. We should just do that every morning for that sake. El Madrid de Spega. Madrid takes off 5-0 thrashing of Leganes as Rodrigo opened the scoring and Jovic finally gets his first goal. And then finally for now, the Irish news this morning, 6 minutes past 8. Glenty's clinched title. O'Malley Point finally decides 3-game saga. So a big night in the Glen.
Contested point, I should say.
Yeah, it looked... I can see why it was contested. Is it on Twitter? Did you see it?
Yeah.
I thought it was a point, but then there's a bit of doubt in your mind.
There is. It's very hard to tell from the footage on Twitter because it's a video of a screen. only the goalkeeper and the 2 umpires and maybe the fullback or whoever's close to the goal have the real view of this. That television picture is not good. They should have used the yellow ball maybe or something.
The goalkeeper didn't seem too upset about it, but somebody from running in from the 21 seemed fairly annoyed about it.
Yeah, if I saw that and I was like, that's the winning point, I wouldn't have batted an eyelid, but then again, there's people closer to it. You'd like to think that the umpires actually made the correct call.
Look, umpires, difficult job, as we all know. Took Niamh Connell 5 finals in a row to finally win the Donegal senior football title. In just 4 days, they faced Castlerahan in Ulster. 2017 final loss to Kelleher, 2018 final loss to Gweedore, 2019 final Gweedore draw, 2019 final replay Gweedore draw, 2019 final replay 2 won by a point. What would have happened to extra time last night? Do we know? We still don't know.
They'd have just had to go to penalties. They would have had to call a county board meeting there and then to ratify a law to allow penalties.
They played again tonight. 8 minutes past 8, the very latest on offtheball.com. All Ireland winners Tipperary dominate 2019 PwC Hurling All-Stars, and the story about the Kelleher penalty last night helping Liverpool past Arsenal after an Anfield epic. Also, good conversation with Andy Lee about Ryan Burnett's early retirement, putting it into perspective from this week's episode of Off the Brawl. It is 8 minutes past 8 this morning. You're watching OTB AM. If you missed anything this morning, don't worry, you can always listen back on podcast. The best place to get us is the Go Loud app, or of course you can always get us on offtheball.com/podcasts. The podcast is timestamped as well, so you can click through to wherever you want in our 2-hour show each morning.